Welcome to this video where I'm going to teach you how Google Ads work in this day and age. We will cover the basics and then go on to some of the important ways that Google Ads have changed that you need to know. Hang around to the end and I will also give you the 3 most important key factors to get right if you want to run your own profitable Google Ads campaign. If you're new here, I'm Daryl and I run a Google Ads agency called BigFair. I've been around the Google Ads game for over 15 years now, and my team and I work with clients across the world. So today I'm going to distill all that experience and teach you the fundamentals of how Google Ads work. Alright, let's start right at the top and talk about what actually happens when you search on Google. Alright, so here I am on a Google search results page and I've just typed into Google an example search term, Google Ads agency, and these are the search results. To understand Google Ads, we first have to understand a little bit about how Google itself works. And the first thing to talk about are the organic listings. Now, these guys up here are the paid ads, the actual Google Ads, and I'll talk about those in just a minute. But first off, let's understand the organic listings. So further down the page, underneath the Google Ads, we're going to see Google organic listings, and these are the listings that are showing up for free. These people are not paying Google for each click on these listings. Instead, Google has used its vastly complicated algorithm that has been developed and evolved over the years. It's used that algorithm to determine these are the most relevant listings to show against this particular search term. And the thing to know about these organic listings is that the free inverted commas, and when I say free, I mean if I were to click on this listing here, Hawk SEM is not going to pay Google per click that it gets. And I say free in inverted commas because it's sort of free but not free. It actually takes a lot of time and resource and potentially money to get here in the first place. But once you are here, each click on your listing is free. And it does take a long time, especially for a very competitive keyword like this. For uncompetitive keywords, you might get here quite easily, but for most of the keywords that we might want to advertise on, you can bet your dollar that there is going to be strong competition for those keywords, and getting to the top of the organic listings is going to take a lot of time and effort in optimizing your site and optimizing the links pointing to your site, getting as many of those links pointing to your site as possible, getting high domain authority links pointing to your site, showing Google that you're a trustworthy publisher. All that stuff takes time and effort, so it's not really free to be here. It costs a lot of either time or money or a bit of both to get here in the first place. But once you are here, each click is free, inverted commas. Now, where Google Ads comes in is usually at the top of the search results for commercial intent keywords like this. And it essentially allows you to skip the process of getting ranked organically, and instead you just tell Google, hey Google, I want to pay you X dollars per click, and in exchange for that, Google will rank you somewhere here at the top of the search results. So it's a bit of a shortcut. It's much quicker to get here than it is to get down here in the organic listings. But the rub is that every single click you get on your Google ad, you're going to pay for. You're going to pay a cost per click, or CPC, to Google in exchange for every single click on one of these ads. Now, to truly understand Google Ads, we have to understand what Google wants as well, what its purpose is, and why it's the dominant search engine today. The whole goal of Google's search engine is to serve its users the information they were looking for as quickly and as easily as possible. I remember back in the day when there were tons of other search engines around. There was Ask Jeeves and Yahoo and Alta Vista and a bunch of others. Perhaps I'm showing my age at this point, but most of those other search engines aren't even around today, and Google dominates the market. How did they do that? Well, they did that by serving the most relevant results to its users. Google simply had the best algorithm for finding the most relevant results as quickly as possible, and thus it rose to prominence, and now most of its competitors are dead or have a tiny market share. This is important to know because Google is all about relevance. It dominated the market by showing the most relevant results. As such, relevance is built into Google Ads. There are built-in systems in Google Ads that discourage advertisers from advertising on keywords that are not relevant to what they sell. And it rewards advertisers with the most relevant product or service for the keyword the user searched. If someone is searching for a personal trainer, for example, and you try and advertise your weight loss pill, your ad is much less relevant than all those other ads for actual personal trainers, and thus you will end up paying a lot higher cost per click, to the point where I can guarantee it won't be profitable for you to advertise there. So bear this in mind, when advertising in Google, you must target keywords that are actually relevant to the product you're advertising. Okay, now we've established what Google Ads look like and what Google's goal is, let's talk about targeting in Google Ads. The way that you target the users you want to advertise to is through keywords. Every time someone enters some text into Google and searches for it, that is a keyword. And in Google Ads, that is what all the targeting is based on. Users type keywords into Google to find what they are looking for, and advertisers then tell Google which keywords they want to show ads on and how much they're willing to pay. Google then decides which advertiser to show on the search results page. As an advertiser on Google Ads, one of the first things you're going to want to do is research and write a big list of all the keywords that you want to show ads for. For each of those keywords, you're then going to write custom ad copy to tell users you have what they are looking for and the benefits of your product. When someone searches a keyword you are targeting, you and all the other advertisers hoping to show ads for that keyword will get entered into an auction. Based on the results of that auction, you may get displayed higher or lower on the page, or maybe even not at all. By the way, if you would like to get the kinds of results that my team and I at Bigflare got for this client, or even this client, then head on over to the link in the description below. Using the form on that page, you can get in touch with me and schedule in a free PPC strategy session. We'll hop on the phone, discuss your challenges, and dive into actionable strategies that you can use to grow your revenue with PPC. So let's discuss how the auction works. In order to figure out which advertisers win the auction, Google looks at a range of factors which can be simplified into this equation. Ad rank equals cost per click bid, or CPC bid, multiplied by quality score. The advertiser with the highest ad rank will get displayed first, then the one with the second highest, and so on. Ad rank has two factors: the cost per click, or CPC bid, which you set, plus the quality score. The CPC bid is set by you. You tell Google how much you're willing to pay for one click on your ad to your website. But it's not as simple as just bidding the highest to win the auction, because quality score is also an important factor, and it's in the quality score that Google has built in all its relevance factors to make sure that only relevant ads appear next to users' searches. I won't go into quality score too much here, as it's slightly outside the scope of this video, but for now, just think of it as a score from 1 to 10, where 10 means that you are super relevant and will get to pay a much lower cost per click for the same ad rank. Whereas a score of 1 would mean your ad is not relevant at all, and you're going to pay a lot higher and easily be outbid by more relevant advertisers for that keyword. So advertisers on Google Ads have two games to play here. You want to figure out how much you can afford to pay for a click and for that to still be profitable to you. And you also want to make sure your quality score is high by targeting very relevant keywords and writing very relevant ad copy. What we've covered so far is the bedrock of Google and Google Ads. All of what I've said previously has been true of Google since the beginning and will continue being true for quite some time. But how have the fundamentals of how Google Ads work changed over the years? This is important to know if you want to run a profitable Google Ads campaign. Over the years, there have been too many changes for me to go through here, but what I will tell you broadly speaking is that Google Ads has moved more and more towards AI, machine learning, and automation. In the old days, you would create a list of thousands upon thousands of keywords. Then you would manually set a cost per click bid for each of those keywords, and you would adjust the CPC bid yourself over time to stay profitable. Nowadays, it's really not advisable to set your own manual CPC bids. Instead, what you do is you give Google your goal. For example, I want to get as many leads as possible at a target cost per lead of $50. Then you ensure your tracking is set up perfectly, and then you let Google decide the cost per click bids for you, given that goal. This new approach scares a lot of people, but it is actually the best way to do things most of the time these days. Google's algorithm for deciding the cost per click bid has gotten so advanced that it hands down outperforms any human bid optimizer, just so long as it has accurate and plentiful conversion data. Another way that Google has changed is in the way it understands keywords. Previously, it had limited understanding of the true meaning of those keywords that were typed in, but nowadays it's doing a good job of understanding the actual meaning or intent behind those strings of text. And rather than trying to match advertisers to searches based on just the keyword itself, what it's doing is going one step deeper and understanding the intent behind that keyword and matching things based on the intent. As an example, let's take the keyword lawn mowing service. Back in the day, if you targeted this keyword as an advertiser using what's called exact match, you would literally only show up when someone searches the exact text string lawn mowing service. But nowadays, what Google will actually do is understand that the person looking for that keyword has the intent of getting someone to mow their lawn, and it will serve ads from advertisers who have that service. So nowadays, if you advertise on the exact match term lawn mowing service, you might also show ads for someone who is searching for grass cutting service, because Google understands that those two things have the same meaning. So the important thing to know here is that while previously running successful Google Ads was a lot about manual control, these days it's more about understanding how the algorithm works. You need to understand how the algo works and how to make the correct keyword and goal choices, and how to make the correct decisions when it comes to running your Google Ads campaigns. I promised you a little bonus, and here it is. As I see it, there are 3 core components to master to run successful Google Ads: targeting, creative, and bids and budgets. In terms of targeting, this means your keyword selection. To do targeting well, you must find the right keywords, and you must find all of them. The right keywords are the ones that are relevant enough to the product you sell. So do your research and focus on making sure your keyword list is highly relevant. And when I say all the keywords, what I'm trying to emphasize is the idea that to truly maximize profit in Google Ads, you should never stick your feet up and say, okay, that's it. I found all the keywords. Going home now. Work is done. There are often new additional keywords lurking around the corner that you didn't think of yet. So always be looking for more relevant keywords to add to your list and never assume you have found them all. And when I say creative, I mean the ad copy you write that gets displayed when you show your ads. You need to focus on writing great ad copy. Now in Google Ads, when I say great ad copy, it's not necessarily what you think. Great Google Ads copy does not have to be fancy or super persuasive. It does not need to be written by a fancy pants copywriter with 10 years experience doing nothing but writing sales copy. Instead, great copy in Google Ads is the copy that most clearly and specifically states what you have and what its benefits are. This is not rocket science. In your ad copy, mention the exact keyword they were looking for. If you're targeting the keyword personal trainer, then mention in your ad copy that you are a personal trainer. And then make sure to clearly state any benefits and USPs that are relevant. Do you have a guarantee? Great, users love that, mention it. Is your price very reasonable? Mention the price. Have you won a bunch of awards? Mention that. Trying to be too fancy and persuasive with your Google Ads copy gets in the way of being clear and to the point. Write Google Ads copy by being specific and clear. The third big factor I mentioned is bids and budgets. This is all about knowing how much you can afford to pay and what result you are looking to achieve. And these days, this comes down to understanding how the automated bidding algorithm works, so you can make the best decisions when piloting it. You need to understand which bid strategy to use, how many conversions it needs to be successful, and what kind of learning period it has, and more. If you don't know where to start with this, then I highly recommend you type into Google about smart bidding. You will come to a page from Google where you can learn all about how the automated bid strategies work. I highly recommend that you just read all of this before getting started with your Google Ads campaign. Now, do give me a thumbs up if you've liked this video. And now that you've figured out how Google Ads work, perhaps the next thing you're looking for is a guide on how to actually set up a Google Ads campaign. If that sounds like you, then I got you covered. Check out this video up here for my guide on setting up a Google Ads campaign.